Today I want to give you a step-by-step instruction on how to transform your life with Neville Goddard's change principle. And just like with all of my episodes, or at least most of my episodes, I want to start this episode with a long quote from Neville Goddard. So I want to first read the direct words from Neville Goddard to you, and then I want to give you my own personal opinion and also my analysis of each and every sentence, because the following quote really sums up the idea of transforming your life by changing, but not changing in the way as you would expect it, but by changing in a completely different way. And this quote sums up this change principle and how it can help you to transform your life beautifully. So let's get right into it. And by the way, you can find this quote in Neville Goddard's The Search. So here are Neville Goddard's words. To attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. There can be no outer change until there is first an inner change. As within, so without. I am not advocating philosophical indifference when I suggest that we should imagine ourselves as already that which we want to be, living in a mental atmosphere of greatness, rather than using physical means and arguments to bring about the desired change. Everything we do, unaccompanied by a change of consciousness, is but futile readjustment of surfaces. However we toil or struggle, we can receive no more than our subconscious assumptions affirm. To protest against anything which happens to us is to protest against the law of our being and our rulership over our own destiny. Now let's dissect this quote a little bit. Let's start with the very first sentence. To attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. So by this sentence, we can define the nature of things as a change as the result of changing our concept of ourselves. In other words, of what I always call reaching a higher level of consciousness. So let's take money, for example. If right now you want to change your physical reality by improving your bank account statement, by having more money in your bank account, then you first, before you attempt to change this picture, to change this bank account statement in any way, either through physical action or through the imaginary act, you first have to change your concept of yourself. And other spiritual teachers, including Dr. Joe Dispenza, always talk about that in the sense of really thinking about who you want to be. How do you want to walk as the rich and wealthy version of yourself? How do you want to talk as the rich and wealthy version of yourself? How do you want to live your life as the rich and wealthy version of yourself? And of course, this principle applies no matter what you want to manifest. When I, for example, embarked on my physical healing journey, I asked myself, who do I want to be? How do I want to think as a healed version of myself? Or let's say the healed version of myself. How do I want to act? What do I want to believe? What feelings do I want to have? And by doing that, you can say making these mental gymnastics, or maybe you want to call it mental adjustments, that lead you then to a new level of consciousness, you change your level of consciousness. And by changing your level of consciousness, you change your concept of yourself. Of course, the other way around works too, by changing your concept of yourself, by no longer seeing yourself as somebody who's sick, or as somebody who's broke, or as somebody who's unworthy of love. You then change your life and you change your experience by changing the concept of yourself. So now let's have a look at the next sentence. As within, so without. I mean, that's a very simple sentence. It basically means as you feel within, so will your reality reflect it in your outside physical reality. So in other words, if you feel rich and wealthy, your outside reality has to reflect this state of riches, this state of wealth, this state of abundance. And if you feel healthy and healed every single day, and I made this experience, no matter how hard it might be in the beginning, if you just stick with it and you continue and you don't give up and you go into the imaginary act again and again, at some point, you can then feel that as within, so without. And here's what Neville Goddard continues to say. I am not advocating philosophical indifference when I suggest that we should imagine ourselves as already that which we want to be, living in a mental atmosphere of greatness rather than using physical means and arguments to bring about the desired change. So in other words, you don't have to be indifferent to your life. You don't have to say, oh, I don't care that I am poor. No, I no longer care about the fact that I have this illness. I don't want to heal myself anymore. No, I just accept it. That would be indifference. That would be the indifference to the outcome, the indifference to what you actually want. But that's not what Neville Goddard means, and that's also not what I mean when I share my personal struggle and my personal achievement from my own healing journey with you. I want you to realize, just as Neville Goddard wanted you to realize, that it's not about philosophical indifference. It's about living in a mental atmosphere of, as Neville Goddard described it, greatness. And yes, you could scream now, I show you how great I am. You could use this famous line, or you could simply stand in front of the mirror, take a deep breath, and repeat in your mind, I am powerful. I am wonderful. I am strong. I am great. I am abundant. I am lovable. And always remember, when it comes to affirmations, you want to feel them. You don't just want to speak them. You want to really feel them. Because, as Neville Goddard continues, everything we do unaccompanied by a change of consciousness is but futile readjustment of surfaces. So if, for example, you would not try to actively and deliberately, that's why I always call you a deliberate creator, change your consciousness, and you would simply repeat in your mind without ever reaching the emotional state, without ever knocking on the door of the frequency, that, yeah, I'm rich and wealthy, yeah, I'm powerful, I'm healed, yeah, I'm great, oh yeah, I'm so great, and you just repeat the words, and the words are just empty, yeah, they're just empty words, then nothing will change. But if you knock on the frequency of what you want to manifest, and you then also, if you want to, for example, use affirmations, and you feel yourself into the affirmations, you feel the success, you feel how wonderful it feels like to enjoy the money that you want to manifest, to enjoy the healing and your healed body that you want to manifest, and to truly feel it, that's when change can happen. And if you, for example, go to affirmationtomanifestation.com/coaching. You can find out more about all the different coaching sessions I offer. And by going directly to affirmationtomanifestation.com/hypnosis, you can find out more about the hypnosis sessions I offer. I'm not just a certified coach and certified law of attraction coach, but I'm also a certified hypnotist. And I've helped countless people to reach the frequency of what they want to manifest and to knock on the door of that frequency as hard as they can during a hypnosis session. So if you want, we can work together on making your dreams a reality, but you have to be willing to change your consciousness, and you have to be willing to give me your everything, to give me your best when it comes to reaching for this emotional state. Because remember that unaccompanied by a change of consciousness, it's nothing but futile readjustment of surfaces. And I love that word surfaces in this quote, because you don't want to scratch on the surface. You want to go below the surface. You want to dive deep. And you should apply the same principle when it comes to feeling the emotions of your future and reaching the frequency of your future that you in this moment will be one step closer to creating. And now let's have a look at the next sentence. However we toil or struggle, we can receive no more than our subconscious assumptions affirm. And this again sums it up perfectly, because you can work 14 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and believe me, I've done that. I mean, I was completely broke, and I really mean completely broke, while working so hard that at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the evening, I was not able to get my butt off the couch. I was so exhausted. And nowadays, I'm working 4 hours a day, sometimes 3. And yes, sometimes if I have more coachings, then 5 hours a day. But I don't work more than 5 hours a day. In fact, I never take more than 3 coaching clients a day because I want to provide you with the best possible advice, the best possible techniques, and I want to be able to be 100% mentally, emotionally, and spiritually focused on your transformation. And that's something that I can guarantee you if you decide to start working with me on manifesting your dreams. So now let's have a look at the last sentence of this quote. To protest against anything which happens to us is to protest against the law of our being and our rulership over our own destiny. And again, a beautiful sentence from Neville Goddard, because if you protest against what's happening to you right now, nothing will change. In fact, you might even get worse, or your circumstances will get worse, because you are then reaching for the frequency of desperation, of suffering. And as, for example, Joe Dispenza sometimes says, if you do that, then you basically communicate to the universe, yeah, give me some more reasons to suffer, but bring it to me in ways that I least expect, so that they will surprise me. And that's not what you want. You want to be surprised by abundance. You want to be surprised by healing. And I'm 100% sure, and I want to be very, very direct with you right now, and very clear, I'm 100% sure if back then during my healing journey, I would have continued, and don't get me wrong, in the first couple of days, or at least first couple of hours, I have to be honest, first couple of days, I was in this kind of mental uproar and this kind of resentment state of, why me? Why is it happening to me? Why do I have to go through that? Oh my God, why? And if I would have stayed in this consciousness, and now we come full circle, remember what Neville Goddard says, to attempt to change the world before we change our concept of ourselves is to struggle against the nature of things. There can be no outer change until there is first an inner change. And if I back then would have not changed my level of consciousness, and I would have not embraced possibility, and I would have not stopped, as Neville Goddard describes it, to protest, I'm 100% sure I would now not be able to play basketball. I would not be able to go to the gym again. I would not be able to run again. Because as Neville Goddard says, to protest against anything which happens to us is to protest against the law of our being and our rulership over our own destiny. So yes, you have to accept that you have this rulership over your own destiny. And that's why it's so important that you master every aspect of manifesting your dreams. And if you're ready to do that, then you can go to affirmation2manifestation.com/mastery, or simply click on the first link in the description to find out more about the 11 Days to Manifestation Mastery program. And each of the modules contains practical exercises, hypnosis, and detailed lectures. And you also get a bunch of bonuses completely for free, including the Vibration Rocket Meditation and the Vibration Reality Shift program that can allow you to already start your day in a high vibration, which can then lead to more joy, more love, and of course, better manifestation results. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please send out some love to the YouTube universe by giving this video a big thumbs up. And I would also appreciate it if you would leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to click on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you.